Let's begin by quickly discussing this access window. Similar to all the other Office suite we've worked with, we have tabs. Home tab, we can do some basic things like formatting text, which we really won't be doing a lot of in Access. Over on the left-hand side here, this is called our navigation pane, and inside of the navigation pane is where all of our objects will live. Objects being tables, forms, reports, and queries. Again, don't touch the SAM-generated materials. We can actually close out of this right now since we don't really need this open. But as objects open, there's going to appear kind of like a sheet, I guess. You'll see kind of all your objects that are open, but you can hit this X button. Now to start any database, we need to start with data, and data is typically created via a table. Okay, so this is where we're going to kind of have all of our information live. And looking at our key here, you're going to see that we're going to come up with a handful of different tables. So for this ClearNet shipping logistics company, they have some different tables. One of them is going to be about the different carriers that they work with. One is going to be about the loads and the contents of the packages in the ships, what's being shipped. We have the locations upon which all of these items are being shipped to. We have the shippers that we work with, as well as the truck types, right? We have a container truck, a flatbed truck. Just this is a place for us to really store all of our information. In our database, we are going to start by working on that shippers table. So we will go up to the Create tab and click on Table, and you're going to have a new table automatically appear. You can see on the left-hand side, we now have Table 1, which is the object that is open over here in our navigation pane. Now, very important, for any table to work, we need to have what's called the primary key, okay? And Access will default to this ID field. A primary key is something that uniquely identifies each item within our table. So if you guys think about Infinite Campus, for instance, right? If I log into Infinite Campus and I pull up students' information, I can pull up a lot of things. I can pull up their phone number, their address, I can pull up their grades, I can pull up their class schedule, I can pull up their locker combination, right? But there's one thing that is unique to each of you, which is going to be your ID number. So even though I might have several students in the same class with the same last name, or even some with the same first name, everyone is uniquely identified by their ID number. Okay, so that's going to be our primary key. We're just going to kind of change what's called the field. Now, in a table, a field is our columns. A record is each row. We're going to rename this field. So I'm going to right-click on ID, rename field, and we're going to call this shipper, S-H-I-P-P-E-R, space ID, and that's going to be capitalized. Okay. Click down here where it says new, and then up in the top here, you can see we're working in a new tab. We're working in the table fields. We need to change what's called the data type. The data type just controls what we can input into that specific field. So you can see there's a drop down and there's a large amount of different data types that we can use. Short text is going to allow us to put both numbers and characters. If I put numbers, right, I could not type in the letter A or the letter B. Date and time is going to come across as a date and time format. Currency will come across as a money format. We're going to use the short text data type, and then we are also going to modify what's called the field size. So over here, the field size restricts how many characters can be put in this field. We're going to change that to 5 because our ID for each shipper is going to be no longer than 5 characters, right? So I could not type, for instance, 10 letters into this field. Okay, then with this field still selected, we're going to go ahead and click on name and caption. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're using 5 characters over here. So we want the word shipper ID to be a little bit narrower within that field. So whenever we want something other than the actual field name displayed, we're going to give this a caption. So what we're going to put in here is S_ID, and then the description of this field is going to be unique identifier of shipping company. And I want you to take a minute just to make sure that everything there is spelled correctly, particularly the word identifier, I-D-E-N-T-I-F-I-E-R. just so we know, because Sam will mark us wrong if we spell that incorrectly. Then you can click OK, and in the next video we will get into adding in the rest of our fields.